Give you guys a tour of our kitchen at the beach house. You've only been asking for it for 2 years since we installed the cabinets, and I finally am ready to show you everything. We have some tips for affordably keeping things organized, how to unload your dishwasher faster, how to unload your groceries faster, and I'm going to share a few features in here that I wish we had in our house in Richmond, in the kitchen there. So we'll just start at a very glamorous area. Pull out trash can. Love a pull-out trash can. This is an IKEA system. In fact, all the cabinets in the entire kitchen are from IKEA. The entire kitchen was renovated for under $5,000, so it doesn't have to cost an arm and a leg. But one thing I didn't like about the IKEA system is that for this pull-out cabinet, they only had small trash bins, and I wanted a bigger one. So I took the measurements to a home improvement center. I bought this at a local home, you know, like DIY shop. They have a bunch of...
A store? A hardware store?
A hardware store. You have a bunch of garbage cans and hardware stores, guys. Bring your measurements, and I put it in here, and suddenly I have a lot more room. I have a 35-gallon trash bag instead of the little tiny bathroom trash can that they tried to sell me at IKEA, and I said, no thank you, sir. Moving right along, dishwasher's here. So where would you think you should put all the stuff that you load in and out of the dishwasher? Real close, right? So that's what we did. In fact, when this is thrown open, and these are opened, John basically is standing where the person unloading the dishwasher would stand. So like me or John would plant our feet right here on the ground, and we wouldn't move at all. They could be glued there, and we can unload nearly every single item in the dishwasher into this cabinet, or that drawer, or this drawer. And occasionally there may be 1 or 2 things in the dishwasher that don't go there. This is Tupperware, for example. Tupperware goes over here. We just place it on the top. When we're finished with everything else, close it up, carry the 1 or 2 items that go somewhere else, put them away, done. So there's not a lot of back and forth dancing around the dishwasher. It is a non-event that the dishwasher opens this far and there's only this much space, because we are not squeezing past it. We are planting our feet, unloading it, closing it up, bringing the 1 or 2 items wherever else they go, and doing one of these because we're so proud of ourselves. So we'll move on, and I'll show you these bowls in here. I know you're gonna ask me, is it confusing or bad or unbalanced to have plates and bowls in a drawer? The answer is no. We love it so much we keep doing it. We wouldn't keep doing it if we didn't absolutely love it. We did it in our Richmond house first. We got the idea from John's sister, who's done it forever. We did it in the duplex. We did it here. One tip is put a little grippy like drawer liner in. Just put something down and then make a stack. It all stays on there. You can see that these are stacked pretty high. I can close the drawer. I can open the drawer. Everything is fine. See how these didn't tip over and I slammed it. So I think we have limitations because we believe things like this belong in an upper cabinet, and then we design a kitchen, we put a bunch of upper cabinets. Didn't need to do that because it works down here. So I'm just sharing that tip if that's your vibe and you don't want an upper cabinet. We have some really great pots and pans in here, and this is the first feature I wish we had in our house in Richmond. You ready? Oh, it's a secret little shallow drawer. Pulls out for the little pots and pans. The reason I love this and feel like it's worth its weight in gold is that these in this drawer would be a nightmare. You'd have to dig under things to get to other things, and it just would be horribly inefficient. So having this little drawer, if you have an IKEA system and can add them very affordably, or if you have some other way that you can group things so they're not below or on top of things, that would be a tip I have for you. So moving on, this is a fake drawer because it's the sink. Under the kitchen sink, I have basic stuff, a caddy full of my cleaning supplies because I find I like to remove the whole thing sometimes and take it around the whole house, and a Lazy Susan. Lazy Susans are so cheap at places like Target. This is just a little acrylic one. I love it because you can reach things in the back of the cabinet without getting on your knees and crawling into the cabinet. Like that girl who comes out of the ring and climbs out of the fridge. That's me when I don't have a Lazy Susan, so I like a Lazy Susan. This drawer is a command center of sorts. I like to group things where they go. So like tea bags, sugar, coffee, stuff for our friends who visit and really need coffee, although the local coffee is much better than our coffee, so a lot of them go with me. I walk them over to the coffee shop. It's like less than 5 steps from our door to get really good coffee. Okay, that's an exaggeration. Maybe 50. John's looking at me like, is there a coffee shop in the road?
We live in a coffee shop.
We live in a coffee shop. Another tip for you is use random containers to contain things. They're containers, that's what they're for. This is a jewelry organizer. It works so beautifully for all of my tea and stuff. I don't have that much jewelry, I used it for tea instead. So think out about what you already own and what you can use instead of running to the Container Store or Target and spending a lot of money, because I love to use what I already have and I love to save money. It's win-win. This is just a dish. You could use a bowl. I had this one square dish. It didn't match the rest of my dishes. I used it to hold these. These are like dehydrated lemon. These used to roll around. It annoyed me. Solve your own problems. I had this little container. It used to hold string in my craft room enrichment. Didn't need it anymore. Brought it here. Now they don't roll around. They stay put in the little container. Just group stuff together. Your life will be easier. That's my, if you take one thing away, take that away. Grouped all the stuff like bags and foil. Grouped all the dish towels. Used unmatching random containers. I had this bin and I had this bin. I put them together, they fit in the cabinet, and they hold stuff. So that's basically what you should do if you're looking at a big drawer like this and it looks like this. Put things in vessels.
Wow, guys.
Right? I'm passionate about this.
She just did that.
Put them in vessels so they make sense, and also locate them in places where they make sense. This is a dusting cloth. I keep it next to my cleaning stuff. These are microfiber cloths. I use them with my bottle of vinegar. So there's a little bottle of vinegar right here. I pull it out, I grab a microfiber cloth from the exact same area, and I'm ready to roll. So I'm not running around. It feels efficient. Speaking of like proximity placement, this is stuff that we use near the stove. So it's next to the stove. I know this sounds super obvious, but I don't think it is, because we didn't do it this way for a very long time. We used to run laps around the kitchen. This, I have all of our little spices in here because we use them near the stove. Measuring stuff for the stove. Obviously use this on the stove. Oh, and one other tip. If things slide around, I love to use 3M picture hanging strips. They're like Velcro strips. Put one under the container, one on the base of the container, stick them together, then they don't move. They snap into place and it will not move. So if you have things sliding around, super cheap tip, and it makes you happy every time you open the drawer. Here we have our Tupperware. We like glass Tupperware, some glass baking dishes, more Tupperware, measuring cup. This cabinet is extremely sparse because I think it demonstrates something we realized when we filled up the kitchen. There was a point at which we felt like we could go to Target and probably spend $1,000 filling up carts full of stuff we thought we needed in the kitchen. But we looked at each other and said, what if we just buy things as we need them? So like over time, we needed Tupperware. We needed a measuring cup. We bought it, but what it means is our drawers are a lot less stuffed with things you think you need, but then never use. So we have like some mixing bowls and salad bowls. We have a griddle because John needed that to make pancakes, so we got it. But we didn't get a lot of stuff we didn't need. Over here.
Hey, you forgot the drawer.
Oh, and I thought you were yelling at me about your pancake demons.
That too.
John's a diva about unloading the dishwasher, pancakes, and me forgetting these drawers. It's another one of those secret drawers, and we have the cutting boards in here. We use them so much next to the stove. Say we're chopping up little, tomatoes to put in the sauce. It's right here. It's so nice. And if they go in the dishwasher, they come right back to here. So this is all stove-ish stuff. And then this is the junk drawer. Just a bunch of random stuff. My favorite thing is that I have to buy Band-Aids like every week because I think my kids are hiding them somewhere, or they're like Scrooge McDucking in them. Somewhere these are going, but they're disappearing rapidly in my house. Batteries, all that stuff in here. These two are unusual. You're gonna probably say, why the F is that stuff in your kitchen, Sherry? You're weird. But I'm gonna tell you, I use it very often and I love having it here, and it's my kitchen. Was that a?
It was.
I just said that, okay? I'm just explaining that I'm encouraging you guys to use your kitchen the way you actually want to use it. And if you have two cabinets that are empty and you don't have more kitchen stuff, don't go buy more kitchen stuff. Put in stuff you use. So we use duct tape all the time. I use shams a lot. This is just like, I use rubber gloves to spray paint stuff, wood glue, weather stripping in the winter. This is just stuff we actually use a lot, packing tape. And I put it in a place that's not in the way of cooking. It's off to the side, but it's helpful. I actually paint more than I cook. John is the chef. So I love this drawer and I'm in it often. I get my little brushes. I've got my staining brush, my rollers, everything's in here, painter's tape. And my tip for you is try to group things that relate. So like all the painting stuff is in here, except for the cans of paint, which are upstairs, because it would be annoying if my sandpaper was in one place and my rollers were in another place and my tape was in another place. So I just made this designated spot for all the painting stuff, except for the paint, which obviously doesn't fit in here. So actually back here is all non-kitchen stuff too, but it's somewhat related. I'll start with the one that kind of makes sense. Most of it will not make sense to you. This is like candles and vases and stuff that you know, like if someone gives you flowers, I might use this. I might burn this candle after I'm done burning the candles that I already have out in the kitchen to burn. A pot for a plant, stuff like that. Oh, and also a hot tub skimmer. I really wanted one of these, which is fun. And it didn't fit in this drawer, which is the hot tub drawer. My tip for you is group every like item. So this is even the warranties for the hot tub, the person we need to call if we have a question, all the stuff for John. John's like a little scientist. He gets out there with a beaker and he adjusts the pH and has a grand old time. But everything's in here because I thought if we put this paperwork upstairs, it's not all the hot tub stuff together. Let's literally put all the hot tub stuff together. So we did. And except for the dang skimmer that doesn't fit, but it's been great. This was empty, but now it has bags and paper because it's a need. We didn't have this. I felt bad giving people things in like a grocery bag. So I grabbed a few little decorative bags and tissue, and it's mostly empty. And then down here we have dog food. It's really nice to keep everything in one place, so having it down here is nice because we don't have it, you know, like shoved under a vanity in a bathroom or in the corner of a closet or something. Oh, and I didn't show you guys these. So this is basically like hanging stuff. I've got like my hardware, my, just like random, you know, nails and screws and stuff. And then in here, this doesn't pull out all the way because this big thick piece of molding's in the way, but I can easily access everything. You can see that my hand goes beyond this drawer, right? Like, I can reach there. How do I demonstrate this? See how my hand can go this far? Except when you pull a drawer out, the drawer is now like this far out.
We get it.
I can easily reach. Should I crawl in? Should I just get in there real quick and pop out? Okay. Sorry. This is the pantry. The pantry has food stuff, you'll be happy to know. It's basically all of our snacks, and I used bins. But really, that's the key in here. It's just bins that make sense. A little charging station, because we have a plug in here. Little bins. This is Mommy's drawer. Only Mommy goes in here because it has my vitamins, it has my snacks. My kids don't mess with it. It's just stuff I'm looking for. I liked grouping it because then I don't have to go to 5 drawers to get my vitamins, my breakfast bar, whatever. But generally speaking, I just use little bins to keep things corralled, because watch this, right? Ready for a demonstration? Look how messy it happened.
Gosh.
Can you see how much worse that is than spending like $5 on these bins? And yes, they're not like bamboo and they don't all match. And I have some gray, some white, some are dishes, some are jewelry organizers. But I'm telling you, there is something to having bins. I'll have to clean that up later.
I challenged her to do this in under 15 minutes. Not only is she going to go over, but now
I can't do it. Okay.
she's made a mess now.
I'm gonna show you. This is all DIY stuff again. It's like light bulbs and spackle knives and stuff. They're the furthest in the door because the kids don't touch them, and I didn't want it in front of their snacks. Like I didn't want DIY stuff in this prime area where the kids run in and get snacks. I wanted snacks, and I put it in the corner. It's been great. We use it occasionally, not very much, but it's really nice to have this storage. Over here, paper towels, things we bring into the kitchen like the toaster and the strainers, kids stuff, and I've got some empty baskets, which makes me feel wonderful. This is empty, that's empty, that's empty. Room to grow. And then I thought I'd open the fridge for you guys if you wanted to see crib style. I do have one container in here for stuff that rolls around. But other than that, I don't believe in containers in a fridge because say these were in a container and I have to take the container out to grab the chicken salad. I'd rather just grab the chicken salad. But I do group like with like. This is the meats, fruits, drinks, pickles are together, chicken salad's together.
This is how you're spending your last minute?
This is I have 1 minute. Okay, and then freezer drawers. I love this freezer because it has 2 drawers. So instead of digging through stuff to get to the stuff on the bottom, I just have 2 different drawers. I put the stuff I cook in here. I put this dessert stuff like frozen yogurt and ice cream in here. And I feel like I might only have about 10 seconds to end this video. Okay, I'm back. I'm gonna be fast. No need to cut me off again.
The video cut her off because it was so long.
I mean, guys, I was trying my best. I just wanted to explain, like, placement. Think about the placement of things. Kids come in and make their own bowls of cereal. It's a pride point for me. I love that my kids can make their own cereal. It makes me feel like I've raised
geniuses,
human beings. They're wonderful. But it wouldn't make sense for me to put the cereal up here or down here where they're like crawling. So I put it right at their height to make it as easy as possible for them. Their snacks are here. And then stuff I don't want them to have, like John's cookie stash, I put up high so the 5-year-old, like the 9-year-old knows she shouldn't be in the cookies, but the 5-year-old won't grab them. This is vitamins and honey. Those are 2 things you don't want a 5-year-old to have access to. So they're up high. Just think about placement. This is oils and vinegars. This is baking stuff like sugar and salt and you know, like baking soda. It's down there because we don't use it as often as the cereal, which we use every day. So just my closing tips for you are make sure that you group things that make sense to be grouped. Use containers because you saw how insane things looked when I threw them all together without the containers. And don't be so type A about all the containers matching, because every single time you need a new container, you'd have to match the existing containers. And what if they discontinue that, or it's hard to find, or it's not the right size? Be flexible with yourself, save some money, use what you have, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm trying to figure out if there's a great way to end it. Maybe it's gonna be this.
There's our ending.